we go, losing self-control.
Okay, so sorry this angle is like, the lighting's not great because the light's like up here, not in front of me, but we're working with it and I just wanted to sit on my bed instead of sitting on the floor because the floor is uncomfortable. But I just finished The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss on audiobook. It took me a couple days to get through it. I haven't been feeling the greatest, as I said yesterday, and you can probably hear in my voice, but I've been trying to sleep. And then last night, because I was like trying to make myself sleep, I was just had Harry Potter on because I didn't want to fall asleep and lose where I was up to in this audiobook, whereas Harry Potter doesn't really matter. So yeah, I finished that one. I wouldn't say I love it. Like, I know a lot of people like absolutely rave about this series, and I wouldn't say that I love it, but it was enjoyable, so there's that. Now I've got to pick my next book. So I got my jar. Still got a fair few in here, and I did add 2 yesterday, as you saw. So let's try to stir them around. My hand's not like too big for this. Okay. Okay, we've got The Kiss of Deception by Mary E. Pearson. So this is one of the books that I added onto my list yesterday from the ones that I have on Auto. I'm pretty sure it was 497 pages, I think, and the audiobook is 13.5 hours. So that'll be the next one I'm picking up. I will put the sequel in my jar now because I do have the full trilogy on my phone. So I'll put the name of the next one in the series in here as well. So that's a possible that will come out. So yeah, there's only actually 2 days left of TBR jar, but Tome Topple still has like another couple days after that. But yeah, I think I might just keep picking them out of my TBR jar. Like, I might just keep bringing them out of here rather than just picking random books. But I did want to get to, what audiobook was it that I wanted to get to? I'm having a mind blank. And yes, I'm playing with the Harry Potter one because I had to take it off my shelf so my camera would fit. I swear I don't just play with them. However, I have another one. Actually, I have a lot of them, let's be real. But, Lumos. Ha! Okay. Okay, Crooked Kingdoms. That was the one that I actually wanted to get to. Because once I finish Crooked Kingdoms, then I'm finished with all of Leigh Bardugo's works that are currently out. So, Crooked Kingdoms was a priority. So I might, after TBR jar finishes, I'll pick that one up and then I'll go back to choosing out of my jar. But yeah, I don't know when Dad's getting home. It's already 1:30. He's usually home about 12. But once he gets home, we'll probably be once Dad gets home, I don't know what we'll be doing. He'll probably want something done. But tonight we're going out for dinner for my birthday, which is on Monday. So I won't be getting much reading done, and depending on who's at the pub, it'll depend on whether I stay or come home with, like, when dinner's over. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, on to The Kiss of Deception, finally. Hey guys, so it is Saturday night at about 9 o'clock. You can probably tell by my voice, but I am sick right now. I think in the last update I did say that I thought I was getting sick, and now I'm definitely sick. I don't think I updated yesterday. I'm not sure. I don't think I did. But yesterday was pretty chill. I finished The Name of the Wind. I don't know if I mentioned that yet. But yeah, I finished it yesterday, I think it was. And then I went to the pub last night for dinner for my birthday with my family, and I ended up staying at the pub for a little while afterwards. I only stayed till like 11 because I felt like shit and it was cold, so I came home. But yeah, so I didn't get much done last night. I just went to bed after I got home from the pub, and then today I've just felt like shit and I've just laid on the lounge and did nothing all day. I listened to a little bit of the audiobook, I think only like 20 minutes or something, but that was mainly because Dad kept coming inside and I kept having to pause it because he wanted to talk and it was driving me insane, so I turned it off. But yeah, I have listened to a little bit of The Kiss of Deception, but I realised I need to roll my dice. I have coloured this in since the last time you saw it. I got bored the other day, but I need to roll the dice and see what square I land on next for the Summer Lovin' Book Camp, because I was on debut author, and that's right, that's another thing. Debut author, I did say that the 2 options, I don't remember what the 2 options were, but I realised afterwards that The Name of the Wind was Patrick Rothfuss's debut novel. I didn't think it was, but it is. I looked it up. So I listened to The Name of the Wind because that was what came out of my TBR jar. So that covered debut author. Now it's time to roll again. So let's roll the dice. I'm really not keen for any of the next 6 challenges. I got a 4. So we got, where was I? 1, 2, 3, 4. Number 4, the 4th one next, is move ahead 1 space, and that puts me at Fae. And honestly, I do not own any Fae books, nor do I want to buy any. Because from all the Fae books that I've read, they are very romance heavy, like ACOTAR as a prime example. So I'm gonna cheat, I think, and roll again. Because I have no interest in purchasing a book just to read it when I don't think I'm going to enjoy it. And none come to mind. The only Fae book that comes to mind is The Cruel Prince, and I have no interest in reading that book at all. So I'm going to roll again and go for it. Sorry, I'm cheating. Okay, so I got a 2, so that puts me at a reread. That's easy, I can do that. I don't know if I'm going to get The Kiss of Deception finished by the time TBR jar finishes. TBR jar finishes tomorrow at midnight, so I don't think I'm going to get it finished in time to pick out another book. Yeah, and the only other reread I have, well, the only reread I have for my audiobooks, TBR jar is The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue, which I don't think I'm going to get to, because once TBR jar finishes, I have books that are priority, and that's just not one of them. That was just like a random one that I threw in there because it was over 500 pages and I do want to reread it on audiobook at some point, but that won't be one of them. So I think I'll just use the next Harry Potter book. I'm currently listening to Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, and I'm nearly at the end of it, where like at the point where Remus has just turned up in the Shrieking Shack with Sirius. It was just before Snape got there, so I'm nearly at, like, I'm right at towards the end. Well, actually, that's not even really the end. It's towards the end, but it's not the end, because we still got to go back in time and start again. But, you know. Well, if you've read Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, you'll know. But, yeah, so I'll probably just use... Actually, when did I start that book? Let me look that up. Because, on TBR and Beyond, they did say that you can like pre-roll and then read them in any order. So if I started it in July, then I can just count Prisoner of Azkaban as my next reread, because it doesn't matter when in July or August you read the book, as long as you read all the ones you land on. Well, that's handy. I started reading it on the 1st, so yes, I will be counting Prisoner of Azkaban for the reread, because otherwise it won't be a while until I get to Goblet of Fire, and then Goblet of Fire is one of the longer ones, so that's going to take me a while. But yeah, I can use Prisoner of Azkaban, so that'll be easy. Okay, so right now I'm just going to go edit this reading vlog. It was, what's it called, Filmora was doing that weird thing where some of the footage was skipping for no reason. Like, one time you'll play it and it's fine, the next time you'll play it and it's skipping. I don't know. But yeah, they was doing it that last night, yesterday, and it pissed me off and I saved it and turned it off. So I'll go back to editing and hopefully it will do that without skipping all the time today, because I really need to get that reading vlog up, because I think I should be around about 15 minutes worth of footage so I can move on to part 3 of the reading vlogs, so I can get another one out. But we'll see what happens. But yeah, I'll go and do that now. Later on I might listen to A Kiss of Deception, and then we'll see what else happens. Really, I feel like crap, and I'm probably going to fall asleep early. Well, let's hope I do, because I feel like shit and I want to go to bed. Hey guys, so it is, hold on, let me check the time. 12:15, basically, on Sunday, and it is the end of TBR jar readathon. The readathon, well, it finishes in 15 minutes, but I may as well just wrap it up now, because right now I'm going to go lay in bed, and I might listen to a little bit of audiobook, but I'm not going to get up and update after that, so I couldn't be bothered. Don't mind my hair at the moment. I just brushed it after it being in a bun for 2 days straight, because I've been sick and haven't felt like doing anything. So it's been up in a bun for like 2 days, and now it's all like fluffy and shit because it's all been kinked up from being in a bun. So we'll just ignore that. yeah, you can still probably tell that I'm sick by my voice, but I am feeling a lot better, but my voice still sounds like shit and my nose is still blocked, so. But I'm doing better than I was. At least I don't feel like death warmed up now. So I'll just go over everything I read for TBR Jar Readathon. So the first book I started off with was An Amber in the Ashes by Saba Tahir. I still got the bookmark in it for some reason. This one was the first one I read. I didn't love this one as much as I did the first time I read it. I found it kind of boring. I was actually talking about this vaguely with another person on one of the bookish Facebook groups I'm in. I don't remember which one. And they said that they found like the first half of the book boring. And I agree now that I've reread it. The first time I really enjoyed it, but the second time that I've reread, now that I've reread it, the first half was kind of fucking boring. And then you get into like the excess part like way back there somewhere. So yeah, I don't think I enjoyed it as much the second time as I did the first. Hopefully the next book will be okay on audiobook, and then I'll be able to go into the third one, because the third one obviously I've never read before as it just came out. So yeah, that was the first book. I can't say first because of my voice right now. It sounds like I'm saying first. I'm sorry. Yeah, the first book that I read during TBR Jar. The second book I read was Onyx and Ivory by Mindy Arnett, and this one, again, I didn't love. It was good, but I didn't love it. It felt very similar to a lot of your typical YA fantasy. They had like a lot of similar feelings, not necessarily tropes, I don't think. I can't really think about what tropes were in it. I don't remember, but it had a similar feeling to other typical YA fantasy books. So I didn't absolutely love it. The magical system was interesting though, so I probably will continue the series when the next book comes out, but I didn't absolutely love it. Like, it's not on my top favourite shelf. So there's that. Then at some point I did start The Smoke Thieves. Joking. I read... turn the page. I read 11 pages of The Smoke Thieves. I was going to sit down and read it before my mate came over to go walking, but she came a bit early so I didn't get any more done, and then after that I just did not feel like reading. I didn't read anything physically this week except for The Smoke Thieves and the little bit of From Hell that I did DNF. But I'm not going to go into details about that. You've already heard about that one enough. I DNF'd that graphic novel. Seriously, 3 sex scenes in like literally 16 pages. Like, I was expecting gory shit because like it's about stalking Jack the Ripper. So I expected like some blood and gore and guts, but I did not expect sex scenes every 2 seconds. Moving on. So after that, well, not after that, but I then picked up The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. Again, I didn't love this book. This is a theme of not absolutely loving fantasies, but then being okay. Yeah, so I picked up this one, and I did enjoy it. I don't think it's as good as people rave about it, as a lot of people say like this is their absolutely favourite book, but I did enjoy it. Hopefully I'll enjoy the next one a little bit more when I get to the audiobook of that, but yeah, I did enjoy this one. Now I am listening to A Kiss of Deception by Mary E. Pearson, and I am going to DNF it. I didn't realise how romance heavy this book would be. When, like, I thought there'd be some romance, because how I had it advertised to me was that, well, how I heard it advertised on YouTube, not like directly to me, was that the princess runs away when she gets in an arranged marriage and doesn't want to go through with it. That's fine. Arranged marriages are stupid. But anyway, yeah, she runs away and there's 2 people chasing her. The person she was meant to marry and an assassin, and you don't know which is which. First off, that is not the case in the start. In the start, you do know which is which. It's only once they catch up with her that you don't know who is who. Because when they meet her in a tavern, they take on fake identities, but you don't know which one's which, because when they take on those identities, they are in her point of view and she doesn't know who these guys are. So they take on fake identities, so you don't know who is who anymore. So I just want to clarify that. You know who they are to begin with. You get to know them a little bit beforehand. But I can kind of tell who is who just by the way they speak about class, because one of them is an assassin, like thief, that type of shit, and she is from like a high royal family, and so is the other one, because he is the one that was the arranged marriage was with. So you can tell who the assassin is because he's talking about how like she's better than him, she was what he didn't was what he expected, because, well, yeah, he said that's how he expected her, because she's higher. So it's obvious that that person is the assassin, because someone of similar royal standing wouldn't be saying that, oh, she's so much higher in power than me, because she's not. So yeah, I know exactly who is who. It's not like it's a big fucking mystery, but she doesn't know who is who, and you kind of don't know who is who for a little bit, but within like 2 or 3 chapters after they change their names, you know who is who if you're paying attention enough. But yeah, I think I'm gonna DNF it purely because of the romance. Like, literally, as soon as she saw like these 2 guys sitting at the table, she couldn't talk, she couldn't breathe, and I'm just like, can you fucking die while you're doing it? I hate that shit. Like, it's okay, like, I get it that sometimes like you see someone that's really attractive and you're like, holy fuck, but it's, yeah, just like the way they went about it was like so insta-lovey, kind of like she's not in love with them, but it was very instant attraction, and all she thinks about half the time is these 2 guys, and it drives me insane. I'm not a romance reader, so you can jump off a cliff. I'm out. So yeah, I'm gonna DNF that one, which 2 DNFs in 1 week. We're doing pretty good. Okay, so what I'm gonna do next is, I think I'm also gonna, not necessarily DNF, but not read this one, because like I've read 11 pages, it's not really DNFing it, and I don't even remember those 11 pages, as it was like 4 days ago, and 11 pages is not enough to get into a story that you actually remember, unless they're like some absolutely amazing pages, which, I mean, they were good, but they weren't absolutely amazing enough for me to remember 11 pages and exactly what happened. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to pick up Crooked Kingdoms by Leigh Bardugo. I do have this one physically. Holy shit, I got the right one. So yeah, I do have this one in a physical copy, and I also have it on audiobook. So what I'm going to do is listen to some audio, read some physically whenever I just feel like reading. But yeah, so I'm going to do both with this one book, as I have both copies, and then also while I'm listening to the audiobook, if I'm like in the lounge room or something when there's light, I'll just flick through with the book. If I can't do that really if I'm in bed with the lights off, but if I'm out in the lounge room, I'll try and like flick through with the book, which is kind of what I did with Six of Crows for a little bit of it, because I did have the physical copy and the audiobook. So that is what I'm going to do for this one, and that is what I'm going to read next. I'm going to start Crooked Kingdoms now. Like I said, at this point it is now like 5 to 12, so yeah, I'm gonna start this one right now. Hopefully I'll be able to get this one finished. It is, hold on, there's all that other stuff in the back, hold on. Okay, the actual book is 536 pages, but if you didn't know, there's a cast of characters in the back of Crooked Kingdoms. I love that they put like lists of characters and like pronunciation and stuff in the back of books, but I hate it at the same time that it is in the back of the book, because you open up the front, you start reading, and you're like, how the fuck do you pronounce this shit? And then you just keep pushing through, and you get to the end, you're like, oh, that's how you pronounce it, because not many people look at the end of the book. The only reason I was looking at the end and realized that was when I was organising for Tome Topple and I wanted to see how many pages it was. So obviously I saw the list then, and I'm like, ah, that's in the back, that's cool. And there is a lot of words. Like, I mean, is this just characters? Because that's a lot. I don't remember that many characters. Like, there was the 6 main ones, but Jesus, there's a lot. Okay. Righto. But yeah, and it's also another thing with ebooks, because you can't just flip to the back of the book in an ebook easily and see if there happens to be a pronunciation guide or anything like that in the back. So especially with ebooks, it should be in the front of the book, or at least a note to say that, hey, there's a thingy in the back of the book, just flip to chapter such and such on the ebook, because how the fuck would you know? And when they put prequels in the back of books, why? I read the Bone Season on ebook. This is like going on a complete tangent right now, but I read the Bone Season on ebook, and at the back of the Bone Season is the prequel, The Pale Dreamer, and I didn't realize it was there. And I generally am one that if I'm going to read the prequel, I will read it before the first book. And I got to the end of the Bone season and there's a prequel sitting there. I'm like, what the fuck is the point of this? So I never read that. Even though my book included it, I just didn't know it was fucking there. And again, if you're gonna do that, especially with ebooks, put a note in the front. How hard is it? Because so many of us miss it. You can put the maps in the front, why can't you put anything else in the front? Anyway, rant about book production over. So yeah, right now, I'm gonna go hop in my bed, read some Crooked Kingdoms, I think that is up the right way, read some Crooked Kingdoms, probably go to bed soon. I'm actually feeling pretty good right now. As I said, I've like dosed myself up. Right now I'm starting to cough because I've been talking, but yeah, I've like dosed myself up and taken Zyrtec and shit, so I'm doing pretty good right now. So I should be able to get like a little bit of Crooked Kingdoms done. So yeah, we're good. Let's go. Okay guys, this is just a random video. It could go in at any point in the reading vlogs. Who would know? But either way, I am ending this particular reading vlog here. There will be Aura Part 4. I don't know, I'll put it on the screen which part you'll be going to after the specific video, but I just wanted to put something here to end the vlog so it wasn't just like cut off random. Yeah, that's the end of this specific reading vlog. We'll see you in the next one.